Hello YouTube world, thanks for joining me again today. I had a video that I filmed yesterday, and part of it was filmed in my car, and I had my little GoPro camera in a little holder that mounts to the vent on the dash, and apparently when I clamped the camera into the holder, I must have been covering the mic because the first part of my video was muffled. Well, then I'd gotten out of the car with the camera and done some more video, and then I got back in and put it back in the same holder, but I didn't put it in there quite the same, and it wasn't covering up the mic, so he was able to hear me on the second part of the video, so I ended up scratching that video. But what the video is about is my friend Roger lives in a little tiny house, which if some of you may have seen that video. He had the shower drain freezes about once a year, and that's usually when there's the light bulb. We have a heat lamp, but it's actually just a regular bulb in there that keeps the drain thawed. Well, the bulb would burn out and the drain was froze up, but it did thaw out before I'd gotten down there. We've had some cold temperatures, but it warmed up enough yesterday. It did drain, thawed out and drained. It's the water in the trap will freeze, so we keep a light on down there and it stays thawed. Well, the bulb burned out, so I had to go down there. So I was making a video of making a trip down there to help my friend out. So I had them scratching that video. But today's video is about the little things. And what I mean about the little things is sometimes in life, the things that are more special to you are the little things rather than the big things. For instance, a lot of people like, their prized possession is their truck. You know, they got this big fancy truck or maybe a car or such like that. I mean, don't get me wrong, those things are important to have that if you need it, you know. But sometimes it's a little thing that brings happiness into a person's life. And I have a few items here I'll show you. And this is just a few of my collection of things that make me happy. And I'll explain why they do. Okay, I'll show you the items. First off is this simple meat fork. The reason it makes me happy is because, one, it's the right size, it's handy when I cook. But what I like about this meat fork is that it's got some aging on it. It's cracked there on the handle and such. But it reminds me of a lost loved one that I had in my life that meant a lot to me, which was my Aunt Leela. She was one of my mom's elder sisters. She'd gotten polio when she was really young, which crippled her. She was able to walk, but in her elderly years, she was bound to a wheelchair. But she'd done all the cooking for the family as she was growing up. She wasn't able to go out and help do chores and with the farming and stuff. So she stayed in the house and done the cooking, breakfast, lunch, and supper. As my mom was growing up, she was a younger one. There's 10 kids in my mom's family. And every time I use this meat fork, it reminds me of my Aunt Leila. She was dear to me. Spent a lot of time with my grandma's. Spent a lot of time with my Aunt Leila. She's the one that taught me how to make homemade pancakes from scratch, and which I've talked about that in a video just recently about the homemade pancakes. And so every time I use that meat fork, it just brings back memories of my Aunt Leila cooking for me and such. The second thing is the spatula. And what makes this so important is I'd gone on a trip to the playoffs and for hockey for the Musketeers, Sioux City Musketeers, a few years back. My grandson was 3 at the time. One of my grandsons, I should say. My grandson Wyatt, which he does play hockey. He's 6 now. And he went with us because that's all he does is eat, sleep, and breathe hockey. That's all that's important to him. And he went with us, and I picked this spatula up. And it reminds me, I picked this up because it makes a good pancake turner, which my pancakes is one of his favorite. It's got a nice tapered edge on the front and on the sides, so it gets underneath the edge of the pancake and easy to flip them. And it pick some pancakes right up off my cast iron griddle that I use. And every time I use this, it reminds me of the trip. We had so much fun going to Chicago to the hockey games. The third thing, that's just a simple thing or small thing that means a lot to me, is this Winchester knife. I'll take it out of the deal here. It's a knife that one of my brothers had given me. Has Winchester written right on it. Whoops. I have a brother that he don't really associate with the rest of the family. I'm pretty much the only one he actually has contact with. I mean, he has his reasons, but every time I use this knife, whether I use it for skinning a deer or whatever, it just reminds me of the fact that I mean a lot to him, for the gesture, him giving me this knife when he don't even really speak to the rest of the family. And he's always been dear to my heart. We were really close as I was growing up. And as he got older, it seemed like we kind of fell apart. Like he started getting his own friends and kind of shunned me a little bit, but I forgave him for it. He speaks to me now all the time. And like I said, I'm the only one in the family that he speaks to. This is another knife. As you can see, it's another knife that my brother had given me. It's a Damascus, I think that's how you say it, Damascus steel knife. Anyhow, he just recently gave me that. He mentioned that he had another knife for me, but he couldn't find it, and then finally he come across it and he gave it to me just recently. So that's the second knife that he's given me that I'll always treasure and keep dear to my heart, just for the fact that like I said, he don't speak to the rest of the family. I thought I'd show these items to you. It's funny how simple things will trigger memories. Sometimes things get triggered that are bad memories, but I like these deals. They trigger good memories whenever I use them. Thinking back about the fact that my Aunt Leila used to cook for me. She had a meat fork like that she used all the time. I'd like to have her meat fork, but of course I didn't get it when she passed. But I would like to have her meat fork. She turned over a lot of strips of side pork or bacon when she cooked breakfast with it. She used it for cooking steaks or pork chops. She made hundreds and hundreds of great meals using that meat fork as she turned the meat in the skillet. Same way with the spatula. I've used it a lot for making pancakes for my grandkids, and they always tell me that Grandpa's pancakes are the best. Plus, it brings back the memories of me going to Chicago with my grandson. And another thing, it's always making memories for them. They'll remember me using this spatula when I'm dead and gone. Remember when Grandpa used to take this spatula and flip our pancakes for us and make pancakes? Oh man, he made the best pancakes. That's what's always good about things like that, is the memories. Well, I won't make this video any longer. I'll let you go for now, and sorry about not getting that other video out because the sound was messed up on it. That's what I done yesterday, is went and helped Roger get a new bulb in to keep his drain thawed. Thank you for subscribing. Those that haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And all of you that have given me shout outs in your videos, I've had a couple people in the last 2 days give me shout outs. I appreciate it. My numbers are growing, and I'm going to be thinking about a 200 subscriber giveaway. I got a couple ideas in mind. Maybe the next video, that's what I'll be doing, is announcing a 200 subscriber giveaway. Well, thank you for joining me once again, and I'll see you on the next one. And don't forget, I love you.